Have you ever snapped at someone you love and almost immediately thought, where did that come from? Maybe it was your child asking one more question, or your partner forgetting something, or someone touching you when you're already completely touched out. And then, before you even had time to think, the words came out sharper than you wanted. And almost instantly, the guilt followed. If you've ever had one of those moments, this conversation is for you. Hi, love. Before we go anywhere, let's take one slow breath together. Inhale and exhale. If you've been hard on yourself lately, if you've been wondering why your patience feels shorter than it used to, I hope today's conversation feels like a little exhale because I want to help you understand yourself with a little more compassion. I think every mom has moments she wishes she could rewind. I know I do. Moments where nothing huge happened, not a crisis or an emergency, but just like one more little request or one more interruption or one more mom. And somehow that tiny moment felt enormous. Not because of what happened in the moment, right? But because of everything that came before it. Or maybe I'd been making decisions all day, answering questions, solving problems, holding space for everyone else's emotions. And by the time that little moment arrived, my nervous system had already reached its limit. Maybe you've experienced something similar. You're making dinner, someone spills their drink, someone else can't find their shoes, the dog starts barking, a notification goes off on your phone, and suddenly the sound of someone asking, Mom, feels almost painful. And it's not because you don't love them, but because your body has run out of room. For a long time, I thought these moments meant I need to become more patient. But now I realize I needed something different. Maybe I didn't need more patience. Instead, I needed more capacity. There's a difference. Patience is something we often think we should force, but capacity is something we gently build and grow. And our nervous systems are constantly taking in information, noise, touch, questions, decisions, schedules. Even the beautiful things require energy. And when we don't have little moments to settle, to soften, to come home to ourselves, everything starts feeling louder. Even love, maybe especially love. The one thing I've noticed about myself is that I almost never snap because of the moment I'm in. I snap because of all of the moments I never paused after, like the dishes or the errands or the emails or the conversations or the planning or the helping or the driving. When I move from one thing to the next without ever really fully arriving, eventually my body says, I can't keep carrying this pace. And that realization changed so much for me because it meant I wasn't broken. I wasn't failing. I wasn't becoming an angry person. I was becoming an overwhelmed person. And those are very different things. So, what if snapping isn't your character? What if it's your communication? Not your communication from your child, but communication from your body. Saying, oh, I need some softness. So if you've found yourself reacting lately, here are 3 little things I'd love to invite you to experiment with, because they might create just a little more space, a little more capacity for you. The first is practice noticing your yellow lights. We all know what the red lights feel like, right? That's when we've already snapped. But what does a yellow light feel like? Maybe your shoulders tighten. Maybe your jaw clenches. Maybe everything starts feeling loud. Maybe you start rushing. Can you notice those moments before they become a red light? Second is create one tiny transition ritual. So not a whole morning routine, just 1 minute before you walk back into the house, before school pickup, before dinner. Take 1 breath. Feel your feet. Maybe quietly hum. And ask yourself, what do I need before I step into this next moment? And third, repair. Not because you failed, but because relationships grow through repair. Our children don't need us to never make mistakes. What a relief, right? They need to see what coming back together looks like. Sometimes I'll simply say, I'm sorry. I think my body was overwhelmed. Can we try that again? And every time I do, I remember that repair isn't evidence of failure. It's evidence of relationship. I think so many mothers believe they're failing when really they're carrying too much. And maybe the answer isn't becoming more patient. Maybe it's becoming more supported, learning to notice yourself with the same compassion you offer everyone else. If today's conversation helped you understand yourself with a little more compassion, I want you to know that this is exactly the kind of work we do together inside Vibrant Mom Life. Awareness is such a beautiful first step. Noticing your reactions without shame changes everything. But together we'll also explore what lives beneath those reactions. Why does this moment feel so activating? What old belief or protective pattern is showing up? How can we lovingly release it so that over time you naturally respond with more calm, more presence, and more trust in yourself? It's about becoming a mother who feels more at home in herself. And I would love to support you in that journey. head over to the show notes for more details. So today, the next time you feel yourself reaching your limit, I hope you pause before asking, "What's wrong with me?" and instead ask, "What is my body trying to tell me?" Because I have a feeling it isn't asking you to try harder. It's asking you to be held. If this conversation reminded you that you're not alone, I'd love for you to share it with another mom who might need to hear it too. And if you'd like a gentle place to begin your mornings with more calm and steadiness, you can download your free gift, Kickstart Your Calm Morning. Get all the details in the show notes. And I invite you to take one more slow breath with me. Inhale and exhale. Before we close, I want to leave you with this. May you move through the rest of your day with a little more gentleness, a little more trust, and a little more compassion for yourself. May you remember, you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to earn peace. You don't have to earn your worth. And whenever life pulls you in 100 different directions, may you always know the way back home to yourself. Because every time you come home to yourself, your children learn where home is too. And wherever today finds you, know that I am always sending you so much love.